Hello there, good morning and good evening. A warm welcome to one and all of you, and I greet you in the name of our loving Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. As always, it gives me a great pleasure. I'm very, very happy. I'm delighted to be part of these sessions. And I hope you have been continuously watching many of the short videos like this that we had released. If you are a YouTuber or if you are into YouTube subscription, there are tons and tons of videos. There is another channel, ultimatetube.com, and there also we have put in a lot of Christian videos. Please don't fail to watch these are going to help you. Once again, a warm welcome. Today we are going to discuss a very important subject, a subject that mankind cannot ignore. It's about burden. What is this, brother? Don't you have any other topic? Should we really talk about burden? Because we know that our life is burdensome. Everything that we see here is full of burden. When we live our lives, while we live our lives on earth, we only see burden, difficulties, this and that. But then, beloved brothers, beloved sisters, listening to me, you need to understand the difference between difficulty and burden, right? Difficulty is nothing but that world offers. Why? Because in this world, the ruler of the earth is none other than devil. He is the father of lies, and the other names that he had also got is destroyer, murderer, stealer, liar, everything. So what a person of this caliber can really offer to you and me? Difficulties. That's why Jesus said in John 14:1, in this world there are full of troubles, but do not be afraid. In the midst of these troubles, learn to carry the yoke and learn from me, because I have gone through all these temptations just like you are going through, and I am able to overcome, which means you should also be able to overcome just like how I overcome. So follow me, Bible says. In you can read what is that, John 16:33. You can read Matthew 11:29, Matthew 11:28. Those who are weak and heavy laden, in other versions, those who are burdened, come unto me, I will give you rest, Jesus said. Now, many of us know these verses, many of us know the explanations also about these verses. But the sad truth here is, you don't know the definition of this burden. Many people mix burden with difficulties. Difficulty is something that the world offers. I mean, the world offers through people, through situations, through circumstances, and many other aspects, right? But we have we have been taught how to overcome these difficulties is quite a thing, but then burden and burdensome is completely a different topic. You know what is this burden or burdensome? It's nothing but you and I had been taught with that patience, or you and I had been instilled with that patience and tolerance. Patience plus tolerance will definitely give us a quality, or will definitely instill that quality called as, nothing but, carrying burden. Now, what is this burden? Now, let's get into the definition. Little more explanations on this definition. Then I'm going to read from the Word of God, Romans chapter 15, and verses 1 to 6 is what I'm definitely going to read with you, and we will be discussing more on those lines. I'm sorry about the lighting. The weather is a little dark, and yeah, I cannot get up from my seats. I hope you're able to see my face still. Um, anyway, let's come to the point. This burden is nothing but bearing others' difficulty, in the sense you are very, very tolerant on someone. There is a flavor in the fruit of the Spirit. Galatians 5:20 to 23, it is there. Long suffering. Long suffering is tightly coupled to something called as burden, right? Burden means what, the head of the family, for example, the fathers listening to me, you have a tremendous burden to carry the difficulties of the family, to carry the financial decisions, some of the financial aspects. If I were to tell you, you are the one who is leading the family from the financial standpoint. Therefore, you have a tremendous burden to carry out the financial commitments. And mothers listening to me, you have a tremendous burden to cook for the entire family, to serve them, to help the children, educate, help in their education while your husband is away from home. You are the one who's taking care of the home. You're called as homemaker in a literal language. And you are a very, very important person. You're like an axle to the husband or the family. If the axle is broken, right, even the vehicle cannot move. Ship will lose its direction, it will crash against an iceberg. It will crash against the mountain and it will be gone, like how the Titanic ship went through in 1912, isn't it? So you are that axle, you're called as wife, and what is your burden is to help the family to put things in order. That's why, sisters listening to me, you play such an important role in the journey of life, both spiritual life and materialistic life and worldly life. Therefore, the burden for every mother is nothing but setting the right directions and helping the husband, helping the children, right? And the children listening to me, if you were to hear me very clearly, the burden you have is to really face the challenges, such as you need to study well, you need to follow good practices, good habits. Just give me a moment, one moment. I will just put little lighting and come back again. I'm really sorry. Now it's clear, I think, isn't it? Um, Sorry about the disturbance, but I had to do that. Children listening to me, right? You have a tremendous burden of carrying forth the duty given in your hands to study well, to be disciplined, to be organized. The money that your parents are investing right on you is nothing but for your welfare. And if you don't pay the returns, if you don't give your best of the efforts in terms of studying, not just studying, you have extracurricular knowledge and talent, such as music and sports and this and that, you definitely can be involved in any of these. I'm not against it, but then if you don't give that fullest of effort, which means you don't have the burden. And burden is a good word. Many people take it on the wrong side. It's such a burden to me. No. Difficulty is different from burden. Difficulty, yes, unprecedented events, unknown events, unexpected events, unforeseen events, right? It can come in the form of difficulties, right? And difficulty can come in the form of any of these I have told. But burden is not unforeseen. It's not unprecedented. It's not unknown. I did not expect this burden. No, you definitely know. Every plan that God instills in your mind is nothing but the burden, and burden is the one which paves the way to role and responsibility. All of us know this, right? People who are working professionals, you know the role and responsibility. The roles and responsibilities are defined in your offer letter, appointment letter. This is your role. This will be your responsibility. What if you fail in your role and responsibility? The organization won't pay you. If you continue doing the same for 2 3 months, what they will do, they'll kick you out of the job. You're fired. You're not needed for the organization. Likewise, your role and responsibility as a what is a respectable and dutiful citizen of India or a patriot is to follow the rules, is to follow the law. You cannot be involved in corruption, malpractices. Even while driving, also you need to follow the rules, and that is your role, and that is why they are giving you license. Correct now, the license that you and I have is nothing but to be called as the spiritual burden, that we should do our job in the fullest mindset, in the fullest effort, right? In the fullest potential, right? A person who is filled with a lot of burden will be a very responsible person. You just notice this and see. You go to any family, you check it out. A person who is having that burden will be the one who is very, very serious about his life or about her life. And a person who doesn't have the burden, naturally, you know what will be the end result. They will become such a difficult person to handle. They'll be such a nuisance. They'll be a headache to the family, right? And therefore, do not call burden as a bad word. It's actually a very healthy phenomena, right? Or a very healthy nomenclature, if you understand this. That's why Jesus uses the word burden in Matthew 19:28. And those who shall have the burden is are the ones who will be ready to carry that load on their shoulders and be a blessing to others. They'll be the light to the world, Bible says. They'll be the torch bearers, Bible says. They will be the essence to the world, Bible says. And they will be like the having that flavor, that like that salt, right? When some brothers talk to you, when some sisters talk to you, you enjoy their presence. You enjoy their fellowship. Why? Because they learned it with such a burden that they got to be a blessing to others. That's why you're able to see that quality in them. All right. Enough of this. Now, I hope I did my best to help you understand the definition of burden. And burdensome is nothing but the derivation of burden. Nothing but if you have that burden as a quality and you are implementing that in your life, then what happens is you will have that burdensome mindset in the sense to fulfill. that which God had instilled in your heart, the responsibility God gave in your heart, trusting you, you will definitely fulfill it. And your employer trusting you, he gave that duty or responsibility. You will not while away your time. You will not go for 5 times coffee and 2 times lunch and all that, right? You will sit at one place and you will work hard to fulfill the duty as what is expected by your employer. Now let us read from Romans 15 and then let us understand what the Word of God is trying to say. It's not about my interpretation, your interpretation, but the common thing is nothing but the Word of God, and we need to keep the Word of God as centric and derive certain standards. Now I'm going to read from Romans 15 and verses 1 to 6 is what I'm going to read. You all follow me, okay? Now, bearing others' burdens is the title on which KJV is talking. I've already explained it. If you have a burden, it is not just for you, but absolutely it is to safeguard the family, safeguard your co workers, safeguard your city, safeguard your nation. You're going to really, really think of others more than you think of yourself. Thinking of yourself is a sin according to Bible. 2 Timothy 3 1 to 9. There is an aspect called as lover of themselves. It's called as selfishness. Everything is all about me, I myself and me. Some people are talking like that. No, it's called as demonic wisdom. According to James 3, verses 11 to 15, if you read, you will understand this. Now, let us read from the Bible, Romans 15, verse 1. We then who are strong ought to bear with the scruples of the weak and not to please ourselves. Scruples means in this world, a lot of people are imperfect. In fact, you also are imperfect. I also am imperfect. We all have weaknesses in the flesh. But what happens is there are certain areas where you and I are very strong. For example, you are good at studies, I am good at sports. I will be judging you on the sports angle. You are not good at sports like me, and you will be judging me from the studying, academic angle that you are not good at studies like me. Correct? No. That is what we are not supposed to do. We are supposed to look at our weak side and not to blame ourselves or judge ourselves or feel guilty about it, but remember one thing that you also have shortcomings. You are also imperfect. Likewise, that brother is not good at studies, but that sister is definitely good at multiple other areas, and I'm not good at those areas. Therefore, we are equal, right? We are balanced, we are equal. Therefore, you should get that mentality of, therefore, you will not make any extra efforts to bear somebody's scruples. For example, when they commit a mistake, immediately you yell at them. Why? Because you are not like me. You see, I am very organized. I am not weak like you. I am very strong. That brother also can yell at you. Well, you are not strong at me in so many areas. You are weak, and I also can yell at you. What happens is quarrel. It starts with brawls. It starts with vengeance. It starts with avenging. It starts with hurting each other and all that. This is all against Bible, right? These are the things called as passive sins. And you can read from 2 Timothy 3 1 to 9, Colossians 3 5 to 9, Mark 7 21 to 23, 1 Timothy chapter 1 verses 9 and 10, 1 Corinthians 6 9 and 10, Galatians 5 17 to 21. All these things, if you read, you will understand there are variety of sins which all can be encompassed in one word, scruples. So I want you to know this. That's why I told you. You don't have to make any extra effort to bear one another's burden, in the sense, bear one another's weakness, bear one another's shortcomings, bear one another's sins, but it will become spontaneous. It will be you will not make any effort. But Jesus never made any effort. He is ready to forgive. He always forgave. Why? Because that was part of his DNA, that was part of his thought process, and nobody will have to teach Jesus about this at all. And that's what we are learning from Romans. Okay, verse number 2. Let each of us please his neighbor for his good, leading to edification. Here the word you have to circle is edification. It's not easy to please your neighbor. Neighbor means not the person living next to your house. Neighbor means anyone and everyone other than your blood relation, other than your child, wife, husband. All are neighbors. In the sense, you have to love one another, which means you have to love everyone, the worst of the sinners, the chief of the sinners, the prime accused. You have to love everyone. And Bible says through edification, please him or her. Edification means what? Not calling them for a lunch and advising them for 5 hours. People will never come to you. It's not about that. But edification is nothing but waiting for the right chance, the right opportunity, the right timing, the right season. And what is the right season, right timing? They will come in search of you. You continuously pray for them. You continuously pray for their shortcomings. A day will come wherein they will come and knock your door, tuck tuck tuck. They will be saying that, brother, I have a problem, what should I do? That's the kind of opportunity you should use and edify. Edification is nothing but guiding them in the right direction, for which you got to be well versed with the word of God, right? You got to be very strong, brother. Only then you can lead others. A blind leading another blind, both of them will fall into ditch, Jesus said in the same Bible. Therefore you got to be careful. I will read one more verse and we will then close. For even Christ did not please himself, had as it written, the reproaches of those who reproached you, fell on me. Jesus was made perfect, but then he became imperfect for us. Understand this clearly. Many people misinterpret it. With that, I will close because there is no time. My time is already up. How Jesus became imperfect for us? All the sins, all the iniquities, all the burdens, all the sickness, all the disease, from the beginning of the world all the way towards the end of the world. When is the end of the world? The last baby that is going to be born after, even during the 1,000 years of Jerusalem regime, that is according to Revelation 20. Jesus carried all the sins already on him. And that's why the Father, God Almighty, hid his face from his Son. Why? Because all the sins of the world were cast on him. But be clear on this, there was no sin in him. There was no blemish in him. 1 Peter 1:18, 1 Peter 3:18, 19. Hebrews, I forgot. Hebrews, I forgot. Sorry. These are the verses which tells that, that Jesus is not having, sorry, Hebrews 2:17 and 18. He became our chief high priest in the propitiation of sins. There was no blemish in him, although he was tempted like you and me at all points. But this Jesus became imperfect, although being perfect. Jesus died for the unjust, although he was just. Sometimes that's called a sacrifice. Don't you agree with me? Right? Burden in your heart for others' welfare will lead you to lots and lots of sacrifices in life. Absolutely. You will come out of your comfort zone. You will be able to give a paycheck where you have not donated such a money to any orphanages or any people that are poor, downtrodden, needy. You will be able to give the best of your clothes. You will be able to give the best of your properties, houses, this and that. Why? Because there is something that is changing in you. And what is the reason for the change is the burden you have for your neighbor. Not just to please, calling the media and saying that, see, I'm presenting a check of 1 crore. Not like that. Your right hand should not know what your left hand is giving. Burden, burden in your heart induces the love for others. And the love for others will induce the sacrificial effort, right? The sacrifice. You won't make any effort, but automatically it comes. You will be able to give. I was not like this, brother, but I don't know now. Without giving, I'm not able to sleep in the night. Many people have confessed this. There is some change in me. Is it good or bad? Many people have asked me. In fact, I myself saw that change in me after I accepted Christ. And I was wondering, am I on the fool? Am I getting fooled every day? No, no, no. You're getting renewed every day. You're growing stronger every day. You're becoming like Jesus every day, progressively. And this is good news, right? And you see where we started from burden, and Jesus, how he became imperfect for us, is nothing but a sacrifice to carry the sins of the world, because he is burdened to redeem the world. He is burdened to deliver the world. He is burdened to free you from the bondage of sickness, bondage of disease, bondage of sin. And therefore, he is ready to even offer his life as a sin offering on the cross, carrying your burden and my burden, your bondage and my bondage, your sickness and my sickness on himself, on his body. Matthew 8:17 says this, right? So that's why you should trust when you're sick. By the stripes of the Lord Jesus, you will be healed. That's why you should trust in the name of Jesus. There is definitely deliverance for all your problems, and all your petitions are going to be answered, right? John 14:14 says that. And you don't have to be worried at all. Why? Because our God will definitely listen to us when you do things rightly, according to the word of God, according to the laws and commandments of God, according to the instructions of God. In the name of Jesus, that too, your prayers are going to be answered. Today, I hope we have done our best to convey this aspect of what is this burden all about, and the benefits of burden, and the difference between burden and difficulties. God bless you. Take care. I hope this was a useful session. Subscribe to our channel. Please get access to all the playlists. Why I'm asking you to subscribe is you will get automatic notification as we release videos like these. And you don't miss on anything, beloved. These are all very, very important sessions, very important topics. This will only help you to grow and march forward in your spiritual life and materialistic life. It's important for both. Please share it with your friends, near ones, and continue to remember me and our ministries in your prayer. Pray for me at least 10 seconds. Now, also, when you're done, please close your eyes 10 seconds. You pray for me. Pray for what? Not for me to buy a bungalow or a car or anything. For my good health, for my good strength. Ask God to give me more time because I'm a part time minister. I need more time for these kind of sessions. God bless you. Thank you. Namaskar.